Big up Ty. I knew we'd miss Diaz. 100% we'd miss Diaz.
We are missing him
100%.
right now.
100%.
Como escuchan ahí, algunos hinchas de Liverpool sí están extrañando a Lucho Díaz, otros no tanto, como este señor Tom Little, ustedes lo conocen, no lo quería mucho Lucho, lo adora Gapo. Este otro es lo mismo, no sé cómo se llama, pero es lo mismo y lo van a ver y lo van a escuchar. Los van a escuchar a los dos. Aquí les traigo lo que han dicho varios hinchas de Liverpool acerca de la falta de Lucho Díaz. Si lo extrañan, no lo extrañan, todo eso ya saben aquí en este canal, como siempre, subtitulado, traducido. Suscríbanse al canal, denle like al video, el pulgarcito me ayuda mucho, yo sé que repito mucho esto, pero a ustedes se les olvida a veces darle like, así que por favor bajen, le den like, eso lo mantiene el canal vivo, eso ayuda a que más personas miren el canal, así que les agradezco, bajen, le dan like rapidito y comenten sobre todo esto, van a ver varios comentarios, algunos les va a molestar, otros les va a gustar, así que comenten sobre todo esto, yo trato de leer y contestarles a todos. Para darles un poco de contexto, estas charlas se dan porque el Liverpool, aunque está ganando y está de primero en la Premier League, tiene problemas en el ataque, especialmente en la banda izquierda. No saben qué hacer. En sí toda la delantera está enredada. Salah no le ha ido bien, ha tenido un par de partidos buenos, pero en general la delantera no se encuentra, no se entiende como se entendía la delantera del año pasado con Lucho Díaz jugando o en la izquierda o en el centro. Así que por eso están hablando de eso. Todo el mundo le está echando el agua sucia a Gapo y pues ahí van a ver los que tratan de defenderlo y otros que tratan de tapar el hecho de que les hace falta Lucho Díaz. Y Lucho Díaz le está yendo bien en el Bayern, así que eso me imagino que los tiene así como... Bueno, los dejo con eso. Ya saben, cualquier cosa que pase con los colombianos en el exterior, especialmente en Inglaterra, y a Lucho en Alemania, aquí se los traigo subtitulado, traducido. Los dejo, disfruten el video, nos vemos muy pronto.
Can I imagine Diaz on the left in this game? I don't mean this to be rude, but I don't really care about thinking about Diaz on the left because, you know, I enjoyed him when he was here. I really did. But I prefer to think about the possibilities of young Rio and Gamoa on the left because I think that could be equally as exciting. But I get where you're coming from. He would have turned the defenders inside out more than Gakpo has, I think you're trying to get at, which I think is a fair point. But I do think Cody did okay in that first half.
A lot of people keep telling me that Mo's not seen the ball enough. Mo's seen the ball quite a lot.
Yeah,
Is that Mo's just not informed? That's the thing. Mo's just not informed right now.
That's why our forward line doesn't look like as sexy as before, you know?
Yeah, and plus Mo said it himself. He's getting used to the new attackers in his team making different runs. He said when Darwin was here, no matter how bad Darwin is, Salah knew what Darwin was going to do, so it was easier for him to play that pass or get into that space. With Luis Diaz, he's played with him for a number of years. He knew what he was going to do. Now with Ekatike and Isaac and stuff like that, he's got to get, and the way Verts moves as well instead of Szoboszlai in that 10, he's getting used to new things. Once that clicks, we're going to be cooking, man. Don't worry about it.
You'll Never Walk Alone 2.0 says, are we missing Diaz, who would usually attract players and free others? Verts is the guy now to draw players and release the forwards. It will happen. I do think we miss Diaz, personally. I do think we miss Diaz.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think we replace Diaz, if I'm going to be honest.
Big up Ty. I knew we'd miss Diaz. 100% we'd miss Diaz.
We are missing
100%.
him right now.
100%. Because this Chiesa up front thing, yeah. Once Isak starts playing football, I'm going to say we should never see it again.
I know what he's capable of, but he's becoming way too predictable now. And people are starting to catch on. And it's becoming a lot more easier to defend him and telegraph what he's going to do. The one thing, and I don't like to make comparisons, the one thing I like about Diaz was his unpredictability. With Gakpo, you just know what he's going to do. And it's a bit annoying.
We went into this season as favourites anyway because we were the previous champions, but we've improved. Like we've not lost anyone that I feel that has made us weaker. We gained, which makes us stronger. And I think there's a lot of clubs that have got weaker, if I'm completely honest, especially Newcastle. But,
I mean, the biggest player we've lost is Diaz, right? I think Diaz is the.
But there's a lot of people 50-50 with him anyway. Like
Diaz and Trent.
Then if you look at, comparatively speaking, if you look at the quality of the players we've brought in, it's certainly in terms of numbers, and I think there's definitely a very, very strong argument to say in terms of quality, we've improved.
Just like I said going into the season, left wing is an issue. And I think left wing is a problem for the attack at the moment. And when I say left wing, everyone automatically thinks I'm just speaking about Gakpo. I'm not. Gakpo's not had a great start to the season. It's not just Gakpo. It's the fact that I don't think Slot still fully trusts Rio. Verse has been played out there as well. And we're even hearing talks of, or we're hearing a large portion of the fan base saying, let's play Ekatika out there. Everyone told me going into the season, we've got Rio, we don't need another left winger. What is going on with left wing?
I mean, if you're that off Gakpo already, then I don't know what to say.
Hassam, do you see this?
No, I just
no, let him speak his mind because he's the Cody guy on the street.
No. But Hassam, what was the first thing I said? This is not a Gakpo thing. Didn't I say that?
But it is though, because you're saying there's a problem at left wing. Who's the guy who played left wing?
I see what this is. You're a Gakpo guy. You're a Gakpo.
I am a Gakpo guy. But it's also a case of I think people are just desperate to find a fucking scapegoat this season now that there isn't a Diaz or a Nunes.
When we had Luis Diaz and Diaz started the season on left wing, if I'm not mistaken, I think Cody was on the bench off the top of my head, right? And I kind of kept the same thing of when Diaz was at Liverpool and when Cody was there, they kind of like helped each other in it, like in a sense of it was competition, it was healthy. Now that that's gone, I feel like Gakpo may be getting it a little bit easy, kind of knowing that Rio's probably not going to start only due to experience. Do you know what I'm saying? And Gakpo's battle tested. So if it becomes an ongoing theme, Cal, for another 3 games and he kind of not really doing nothing, I think maybe we might see a shift either to Wirtz on the left or maybe he does start Rio. But it remains to be seen. I just think we've got to let it play out, bro.
If you want me to be brutally honest, Gakpo's the attacker that's had one of the bigger role changes because he's had to go and do what Diaz was doing last year, which is the amount of defensive work. And he's had to be getting all the way back to support left back. And I'm not using
Tom,
that
it can't be the one who's saying this because you criticize Diaz more than anyone, Tom. It got to the level where the Colombians were calling me fair about Diaz. That's how much you criticize Diaz.
I never once heard you say anything about Diaz defensively last season.
No, Tom said that, though.
What are you on about? I always bigged him up for his work race. That's the one thing I never
used that as an excuse for him.
When
he wasn't scoring and assisting, you were saying he's not good enough. Gakpo should be the starting left winger.
So if you're asking when he wasn't scoring and assisting, that run of games happened when he was up front. So the defensive work from the left is irrelevant when you're up front, for one. But last year, I was giving Diaz a lot more praise because last year was the first year where I looked at it and said, he's got the GA that I expect from a Liverpool attacker. In years before, it wasn't there. And I will sit there and say that I criticised Diaz from 22-23 to 23-24 when he was playing because I felt he was not having the impact required on the games. Last year, he was having the impact required on the games, so I had no issue with it. This summer, I had no problem with him staying or going. I had no problem with it. If he stayed, I wouldn't have been that angry.